Hey leaders, I'm Damon Wells, the author of You Don't Know Shit About Leadership and the Leadership Incompetence Index. In this video, I'm going to talk about part 2 of the book, which is chapters 4 through 8. Most leadership advice overstates the balance between science and art. And at its core, leadership isn't a mystery. It's a product of biology and psychology, rooted in our hypersocial nature. It doesn't emerge from personality tests or corporate retreats, but from the way human brains navigate power, hierarchy, and decision-making. Understanding leadership means understanding the hardwired instincts that shape who we follow, who we trust, and why so many leaders fail. Leadership isn't a modern invention, it's an evolutionary adaptation. So in part 2, in chapter 4, we explore how our ancestors selected leaders and what traits helped them survive, and why those same instincts still shape the way we lead and follow today. From chimpanzee dominance hierarchies to hunter-gatherer tribes, we'll see how leadership was designed for small, high-trust groups, not corporate bureaucracies. As an example, in chimpanzee troops, alpha males don't rule by brute force alone. They build alliances. And when leaders fail to maintain trust or exert too much dominance, they get overthrown. In fact, those that do rule with brute force are eventually overthrown, usually fatally, by the other chimps. And the same patterns play out in boardrooms today. In chapter 5, we explore leadership from a neuroscience perspective, how your brain shapes your leadership instincts. The amygdala and prefrontal cortex are basically at war in every leader's brain. The amygdala reacts emotionally to threats, while the prefrontal cortex controls rational decision-making. So when stress is high, leaders often default to those primitive survival instincts, which explains why bad leaders become defensive, aggressive, or controlling. And that war between primitive instincts and rational analysis is present in all of us. Your personality traits may have a bigger impact on your leadership than you realize. So forget MBTI or DISC. Real leadership psychology is rooted in the Big 5 personality model. Extroversion and narcissism often propel individuals into leadership roles because they project confidence, even when they lack competence. High conscientiousness is a strong predictor of effective leadership, but when paired with low adaptability, it can lead to rigidity and micromanagement. The low agreeableness can be an asset in high-stakes competitive environments, but becomes a liability in collaborative, stable organizations. Understanding how these traits interact is key to predicting who thrives and who fails in leadership. Steve Jobs was brilliant, but notoriously difficult to work with. His low agreeableness made him ruthless, but also made Apple an innovative powerhouse. Could he have succeeded in a different kind of company? Probably not. Leadership in the modern world isn't a linear process, it's an adaptive one. Complexity leadership theory reveals that rigid top-down structures struggle in dynamic environments, while organizations that embrace decentralized decision-making thrive. In an era of uncertainty, success depends on leaders who foster emergent solutions, encourage adaptability, and empower teams to navigate complexity rather than try to control it. Consider this, because they empower leaders at every level to make decisions instead of waiting for orders from the top, something today's organizations still struggle with. Thanks for watching. Lead Better.